Starting with admission of partner. You know very well that in your 12 marks problem, you will be getting a balance sheet which we call as old balance sheet, right? And you will be given adjustments, right? Mainly the adjustment consists of the new partner's capital, the new partner's goodwill, right? And appreciation, depreciation of assets and liabilities, right? Specifically saying increase and decrease in the value of liability, because I cannot use the word appreciation and depreciation to liabilities. Okay? Then it also includes unrecorded assets and unrecorded liabilities. We need to be very clear what we are provided. So these are the things which are provided, and in the capital adjustment problems we will have details about the capital adjustment in the adjustment. Okay? Then before all these things, there will be two lines which will be given in the problem which mentions about the name of the partners and their profit sharing ratio, and as well as the balance sheet date, right? And if they are silent about the ratio, there may be two possibilities. Number one, he may say that the capitals are shared by the partners in the proportion of their capitals. मतलब जैसा capital है वैसा ही वो लोग profit को share करेंगे, ये बता सकता है वो. Number one chance. What is the second chance? Nothing is given. You need to assume that they are sharing profits and losses equally. This is the second possibility. Are you clear with this? Right. Now, let us decode everything what is available to us so that we come to know what should be taken where. You are already aware, but it's just a revision for you. Are you clear? Right. So first, in the problem, you come across the names of three partners. So first, second will be there. Normally, in the problem number 11, you will find the third person also, because that problem is of three partner and one old partners and one partner entering into the partnership. But normally, it will be first two, then one will be entering. Are you clear? And these names are used where? Number one, to write the column name in the capital accounts. Old partner capital account में हम use करते हैं इसको, right? We will be using their names to distribute the capital, distribute the revaluation profit or loss. We will use this name while distributing the goodwill. New partner का goodwill जब हम distribute करते रहते हैं तब भी इनका नाम हम use करते हैं. Are you clear? Right. And at last, we will be using their names under the head capital accounts on the liability side of the balance sheet. Are you clear with all these things? Right. कि नाम कहाँ कहाँ यूज होता है. Right. And last एक और चीज है जो old partner capital account में buy new partner बोल के एक आता है वो. Then they will be giving you the profit sharing ratio. We call it as old profit sharing ratio because this is before admission. So where you use this? Number one, to distribute the revaluation profit or losses, to distribute the reserve fund, to distribute the profit and loss which is already existing in the balance sheet, and sometime or most of the time, in the absence of the sacrifice ratio, this only will be assumed as a sacrifice ratio and goodwill will be distributed in this ratio. Are you clear with this? Pakka? Next. Once we cross these two lines, there will be a box available. We call it as balance sheet. And in the balance sheet, most of the time, it starts with creditors, bills payable. Creditors, bills payable. Some other assets which may include in this list is, he may give for any provision for legal repairs, outstanding salary, with different names. Sometime he may give bank loan also. Sometime he may give bank loan, and sometime he may give outstanding salary, outstanding rent in the balance sheet. Remember, whatever may be the name, what it is a liability. It is a liability. We need to check anything is mentioned in the adjustment regarding these liabilities. If it is mentioned, check whether it is increase or decrease. Right? See, if the value of a liability has decreased, it is a profit. It is a profit to be taken on the revaluation account credit side, because I have already told you that credit side consists of profit items. And this, the amount what we have taken in the revaluation account should be shown as a deduction on the liability side of the balance sheet. For example, if the creditors are appearing in the old balance sheet as 20,000, and in the problem they mentioned that it need to be reduced by rupees 1,000. That means it is a profit. So 1,000 rupees should be taken into the revaluation account credit side, and in the balance sheet, new balance sheet I am saying, in the new balance sheet what we will do, 20,000 minus 1,000, kitna lenge hum? 19,000. Have you understood this? The same thing happens with all the liabilities when the value decreases. What happens when the value of the liability increases? When it increases, it will lead to loss, and losses should be taken on the debit side of revaluation account. Hope you have understood this. And they should be shown as addition in the balance sheet liability side. Just now हमने जो डिक्रीज हुआ था उसको हमने माइनस किया था, वैसे जब लायबिलिटी का वैल्यू इंक्रीज होता है तो क्या होता है? लॉस, एंड इट शुड बी शोन एज डिडक्शन इन द लायबिलिटी साइड ऑफ द बैलेंस शीट. आर यू क्लियर विद दिस? And once these liabilities are over, next comes capital, okay, reserves and profit and loss account. Except these three, nothing more can be there. You ಮೂರೇ items ಬರ್ತಾವ್ರಿ, ಬಾಕಿ ಯಾವ ಬರಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. And all these three should be taken to partners capital account. वो भी कौन से साइड पे? क्रेडिट साइड पे. The capital will appear as by balance brought down, because नाम ऊपर ही हमने लिखा है कैपिटल अकाउंट बोल के, तो by balance brought down. Reserve and profit and loss account will be distributed to old partners in their old ratio. Will be distributed to old partners in their old ratio. Clear है ये बात? No doubt at all. Right? Then, after this, remember, these two, that means reserve and profit and loss account, will not be taken to the balance sheet because they are already added in the capital. So, hence, in the new balance sheet, only capital will be taken and nothing else. Hope you have understood. Only हम क्या लेंगे? Capital, and we will not be taking reserve and P&L because we have already distributed it to partners. Are you clear with this? Right. After this, we will move to asset side. We will move to asset side. There can be a chance where you can have cash in hand and cash in bank together. Cash in hand and cash at bank together. But what you can do is, you can take any one of that for the calculation purpose. लेकिन दिखाना दोनों को है बैलेंस शीट में. Both will be shown in the balance sheet. But For calculation purpose like addition, subtraction, you can consider any one. You can consider bank or you can consider cash. It won't make any difference. Clear hai ye baat? Right. So first we will be taking cash in. Most of the time one of them will be there, but in very rare cases both will be there. कौन सा cash in hand and cash at bank? Clear hai? So cash in hand and cash at bank will directly appear in balance sheet with additions and subtractions. Sir, what is meant by additions and subtractions? Additions are by any transaction, if the cash balance has increased, that has to be added. And if by any reason the cash balance has reduced, then that need to be deducted. Are you clear with this point? Right, cash in hand and cash at bank. And if nothing is there, normally it will be there. In admission, there will be change because the new partner is going to bring capital. When he brings the capital, the cash balance will increase. Did you understand? Right, when he brings capital, certainly cash balance will increase. Are you clear with this point? Next. After this, there will be few assets like debtors, stock, machinery, building, patents, right? There will be many assets. What we need to do? We need to check, are there any changes to that asset? Changes in what terms? It may increase, it may decrease. It may increase, it may decrease. If it increases, that means if the value of the asset increases, it is a profit to the organization to be shown on the credit side of the revaluation account and to be added to the asset in the new balance sheet. Whereas, if the value of the asset has got reduced, then it is a loss. That need to be taken on the debit side of the revaluation account and to be deducted. Remember, to be deducted from the asset side of the new balance sheet. Are you clear? And in this, what all complications you may face? If in the problem, it is directly said that depreciate by 10%, 15%, 20%, you can do it very easily. You can do it very easily. Sometime what he may do is, now I will give you an example. Machinery reduced by rupees 5,000. Try to understand. Machinery reduced by rupees 5,000. That means he is not giving in terms of percentage. He has directly given amount. I have always said, if he is giving by rupees 5,000, directly take that to the revaluation account. Clear hai ye baat? Right, what you will be doing? As he has said, reduced. Machinery reduced means loss or profit? Loss, to be taken on the debit side. And in the new balance sheet, what we will do? In the total machinery, we reduce this 5,000. Are you clear with this point? Pakka? Sometime what happens? Machinery is reduced to rupees 50,000. Remember, reduced to. You know, whenever there is 2, what we need to do? We need to take the difference. Right? Check the difference. If it is reduced, loss, debit side. If it has increased, then it is a profit, credit side. Are you clear with this point? 100%? This is about some complications what you may face while solving. Right? So the same need to apply. Instead of reduce, sometime it will be increased. If it is by, directly, सोचना ही नहीं कुछ भी याद रखो. If they mention by, there is no second thought. सीधा का सीधा कहाँ लेना है? Revaluation में. Right? Increase है तो credit side, decrease है तो debit side. Clear है ये बात? पक्का? Next. ये भी हो गया. Now another problem what you may face, you may face problem regarding treatment of PDD or PBD, or we call it as provision. We call it as provision. Sir, what to do? Most of the time while solving in the class, I have not seen you people struggling with it. You people have managed to do it. Right? First thing what we need to remember about what PDD is, it is a charge on debtors. Try to understand what it is. It is a charge on debtors. So when I say debtors, we need to take the gross value of the debtors and not the net value. I hope you will understand my point. Right? Which value we should take? Gross value and not the net. Lakshila class naga. Right? Which value? This is the last chance to recover. Right? If you still stay as you are, there is no future for you, sir. If you do not concentrate, you concentrate your mind power. You just become a daydreamer. डे ड्रीमर मतलब कौन होता है? जो सिर्फ सोचता है, कुछ नहीं कर सकता, उसको बोलते हैं डे ड्रीमर. Okay, so I was discussing about PDD, right? Provision for doubtful debts. So it is a charge on debtors. Which debtors? Gross or net? Gross. Always we need to consider gross. Are you clear? Right. So if somebody says, for example, this is 50,000 debtors are there in the balance sheet. They have given less PDD 5,000. Oh, sorry, 4,000. Let me write 4,000. If somebody says, maintain provision for doubtful debts at 10% on debtors. At 10% on debtors. 10% किस पर कैलकुलेट करोगे आप? You tell me. On 46,000 or 50,000? हाँ, you will calculate it on 50,000. First, we need to calculate 10% on 50,000. Okay. So what is 10% of 50,000? 5,000. Then you need to check. 5,000 is required. How much we have made? 4,000. You tell me. Still that 4,000 need to be increased or decreased? Increased. And I said, what is provision? It is a liability. Fantastic. Provision is a liability. When the liability increases, what it is? Loss should be debited. Did you understand? Logically करो, mechanically नहीं करना है. Right? एक एक चीज फील करके एंट्री करना है. जब फील करके एंट्री करोगे ना, तो किसी के बाप में भी दम नहीं रहेगा कि आपके प्रॉब्लम को रॉन्ग करे, क्योंकि आप जो कर रहे हो आप महसूस कर रहे हो. याद रखो. आया बात समझ में? राइट. देन अज्यूम दैट इसी सेंटेंस को उसने बदल दिया. प्रोविजन इज टू बी मेंटेन्ड एट 5%. इज मेंटेन्ड एट 5%. व्हाट आई विल डू? I will calculate 50,000 into 5%. It will be 2,500. What is required? 2,500. Required is, जो वो बोलता है वो required है. वो बोलता है 5% चाहिए. 50,000 का 5% कितना होगा? 2,500. Did you understand? So 2,500 is required. I have already maintained 4,000. मैंने तो ज़्यादा कर दिया. अब क्या करना होगा? कम. प्रोविजन इज अ लायबिलिटी. लायबिलिटी जब रिड्यूस होता है तो प्रॉफिट टू बी टेकन ऑन द क्रेडिट साइड. पक्का? टू बी टेकन ऑन द क्रेडिट साइड. एंड क्रेडिट साइड लेंगे. और एक और बात याद रखो, ये क्रेडिट साइड में आ जाएगा इन द न्यू बैलेंस शीट. इन द न्यू बैलेंस शीट 50,000 में कितना माइनस करोगे? हाँ, वी विल डिडक्ट 2,500. व्हाट इज रिक्वायर्ड? इन द फर्स्ट केस 5,000. इन द फर्स्ट केस 5,000. What is given in the adjustment, we will deduct that. Are you clear with this? 100%? No doubt at all? Okay, so we are done with the liability side. We are done with the asset side, but a last point which you know already, but still I want to pitch that. That is, asset side may also have a profit and loss account. Right? We call it as accumulated loss. We call it as accumulated loss to be taken on the debit side of a partner's capital account. Are you clear with this? Where we will take that? We will take that on the debit side of partner's capital account. How much you have understood? 100% you have understood. No doubt at all. Right. Now, I hope I have covered all the aspects of balance sheet plus the 2 lines above that. Any doubts in that? If you have any doubt, you can ask. वो clarify करके मैं आगे जाऊँगा. I think some adjustments also we have covered, but फिर भी और एक बार हम adjustments में आएंगे. Are you clear with all these things? No doubt at all? Now, moving ahead, I will come to adjustments. What we will write now? Adjustment. The first adjustment that will be given in your problem. Forget about the number. Sometimes he may give it at the end, because we are seeing only board problems. Sometimes he may mention at the end that he has brought a capital of rupees 1,20,000. You cannot show that. So if you give only at the first, we will solve. Otherwise, we will not solve. See, remember, we want the information. We don't want that to be at a particular position. Right? मतलब क्या है? Information से है हमको. Right? So, first adjustment normally speaks about the amount of capital which the new partner has brought into the business, and plus it also mentions how the goodwill is brought, whether the partner has brought additional cash for the goodwill or he will be paying it out of capital. Try to understand my words, right? How he will be paying, sure, there is no doubt at all. नया बंदा पुराने बंदों को गुडविल के लिए कॉम्पेंसेट कंपलसरी करेगा, नो डाउट उसके बारे में. ऐसा मत सोचो सर गुडविल दे रहा है, गुडविल नहीं दे रहा है. नहीं नहीं नहीं, दोनों केस में गुडविल दे रहा है. इन बोथ द केसेस ही विल पे फॉर गुडविल. बट द क्वेश्चन इज whether he will be paying out of additional cash, or sorry, I can put this sentence, whether he will bring additional cash for the goodwill or he will pay it out of his capital. I hope now I am right. पहले भी सही था पर सेंटेंस गलत हुआ था. Right? Now, what happens if there is additional cash is brought? क्या होगा अगर additional cash लाएगा? Right? Remember, if he brings additional cash, if I quote you the journal entries, थोड़ा quickly बताता हूँ. Right? We got the cash with capital, hence we credited both to the new partner's capital account. That's why if you remember in the new partner's capital account, we used to write by cash account. In the brackets we need to put capital plus goodwill. Did you understand? Understand? Now, टाइटल क्या है अकाउंट का? न्यू पार्टनर्स कैपिटल अकाउंट. और लिख रहा है क्या तो उसमें गुडविल. तू गलती कर दिया ना, राइट? तो इस गलती को सुधारने के लिए मैं क्या करता हूं, मैं बोलता हूं अरे यार ये परमानेंट नहीं है, ये टेम्पररी है, गेस्ट है अपना, जाने वाला है अभी. हाउ द गेस्ट विल गो आउट? व्हेन यू distribute this goodwill on the debit side of the new partner's capital account with the journal entry NPC to OPC, that is new partner's capital account debit to old partner's capital account. Did you understand? 100%. Which ratio we will apply? We will apply sacrifice ratio. We will apply sacrifice ratio. and the entire goodwill amount will be distributed in the sacrifice ratio. Did you understand? 100%? पक्का? Because एक बात याद रखो, the goodwill amount will be paid by whom to who? कौन किसको पे करता है? Do you remember? Fantastic. New partner will pay to old partner. That's the fantastic answer. New partner will pay it to old partner. Now new partner के account में वो आया and we distributed it to old partners in the second journal entry. Now old partner has every right to withdraw this goodwill, but sometime he withdraws and sometime he will not. So that all depends on the information which is provided to us. If he says, if the old partner has withdrawn the goodwill, I pass the journal entry old partner capital to cash account. Clear है? Old partners capital account debit to cash account. Clear है? No doubt at all. Right? This is all about what? Goodwill. This is about goodwill. If it is brought in cash. Right? First, in the new partner's capital account, we write by cash account. In brackets, we clearly mention it is capital plus goodwill. Clear है ये बात? बाद में the goodwill portion, जितना goodwill का portion था, on the debit side, we write 2 old partner 1 and 2 old partner 2. Distribute it in sacrifice ratio. If only one person has sacrificed, we will distribute only to that person. We have seen in few problems. वो capital adjustment के सब में वो ऐसा ही आता है. Clear है ये? Then, if he withdraws money, old partners to cash account. I hope you have seen old partners capital account. वहाँ हम लिखते हैं टू कैश अकाउंट, ब्रैकेट में क्या लिखते हैं? गुडविल विड्रॉन. डिड यू अंडरस्टैंड? राइट? आर यू क्लियर विद दिस? नेक्स्ट, ओल्ड पार्टनर्स टू कैश भी हो गया. आफ्टर दिस गुडविल एडजस्टमेंट, वन मोर केस में बी देयर, गुडविल वैल्यूड एट. अब इसके अलावा कुछ भी सेंटेंस हो, आप एक ही बात समझ लेना कि गुडविल इज वैल्यूड. गुडविल इज वैल्यूड. Remember, when the goodwill of the firm is valued, goodwill is valued, they are giving total goodwill. Remember what they are giving? Total goodwill. And in this case, the new partner will not bring additional cash. He will be paying it out of goodwill. He will be paying it out of goodwill, and when he pays, he will be paying it out of capital, right? And when he pays out of the capital, we should remember that the new partner's capital should get reduced and old partner's capital should increase, because ये capital से capital जा रहा है. किसके capital से जाएगा? New partner से. New partner से क्यों जाएगा? Question आएगा. You should tell. Cash नहीं दिया ना तो क्या जाएगा? Capital जाएगा. जैसे तुम लोन के पैसे नहीं दिए तो घर के सामान उठा के ले जाते हैं ना, वैसे गुडविल के कैश नहीं दिए तो तुम्हारा कैपिटल उठा के लेके जाएंगे लोग. जब तुम्हारा कैपिटल उठाएंगे ना न्यू पार्टनर का, तो न्यू पार्टनर का कैपिटल कम होगा, और जो उठा के लेके गया कौन? हाँ, इट्स नॉट दिल वाले दुल्हनिया ले जाएंगे, राइट? इट्स ओल्ड पार्टनर्स गुडविल ले जाएंगे, बराबर. तो उनका कैपिटल क्या हो जाएगा? ज़्यादा हो जाएगा. तो कैपिटल का रूल अप्लाई करते हुए मैं डायरेक्टली ये एंट्री पास कर देता हूँ, दैट इज न्यू पार्टनर्स कैपिटल अकाउंट डेबिट टू ओल्ड पार्टनर्स कैपिटल अकाउंट. हैव यू अंडरस्टूड दिस? कितना %? 100%, नो डाउट. सो आफ्टर दिस क्लियर है ये? नेक्स्ट राइट. एंड वन थिंग यू रिमेंबर, किसी भी हालत में गुडविल बैलेंस शीट में नहीं आने वाला है. यारನ್ನ ಒಬ್ಬರೇ ಗುಡ್ವಿಲ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೀಟ್ ನಾಗ ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದು ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಇಡೀ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ನೋಟ್ ಪಡಿದ್ ರಪ್ 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 ಪಡಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇನ್ ನೋ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ಡ್ ಗುಡ್ವಿಲ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಏನು ತೋಲ
ಗುಡ್ವಿಲ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್
ತೋಲ ಹಾಂ ತೊಗೊಂಡಂದು ನೀನು ಹೊಡಿಬೇಕಾ ಈಗ ಹಾಂ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಹೊಡಿತಿ ಹಾಂ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಹಾಂ ಸೌಂಡ್ ಬರ್ತಾಡು ಹಾಂ ರೈಟ್ ಈ ಯೂನಿಕ್ ಹೇಳ ಅವ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಹೊಡಿತಾನೆ ನೀ ತೊಗೊಂಡೆ ಹಾಂ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಹಾಂ ರೈಟ್ ಓಕೆ ಸೊ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಮ್ರಿ ಹಾಂ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಬಿ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಯಿತು ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ಡ್ ರೈಟ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಡನ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಗುಡ್ ವಿಲ್ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ I am already done with unrecorded asset, almost similar to appreciation and depreciation. And we are already done with what? Goodwill adjustment ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅಲ್ರಿ ಹಾಂ goodwill adjustment we are already done. So I think everything is covered. Nothing is left out. One thing left out is capital adjustment. Capital adjustment. कैपिटल एडजस्टमेंट व्हाट यू नीड टू रिमेंबर गुडविल अगेन मैंने जैसे बताया सेम वैसे ही करना है नो चेंज एट ऑल वेन एवर देर विल बी कैपिटल एडजस्टमेंट वो एक ही रेशो के प्रॉब्लम से आके आपके इसमें फॉर एग्जाम्पल वो 13,000 का एक प्रॉब्लम था यू शुड मल्टीप्लाई इट विद हिज उल्टा शेयर वी कॉल इट एज रेसिप्रोकल शेयर बोलते हैं हम उसे 13,000 into 6 by 1 that becomes 78,000 which is his total capital and that 78,000 should be distributed between all the partners. See in the problems which we solved earlier first you took total then you ascertained the balance carried down. After this working note first you need to write balance carried down. You need to be very clear with this point. Whenever capital adjustment problems are there, first what we need to write? Balance carried down. First what we need to write? Balance carried down and then we should take totals. And whenever you take the totals, whenever there is some difference on a particular side that need to be compensated by cash or to cash. If it is by cash, add it in the cash balance and if it is to cash, you need to deduct it from the cash balance. Are you clear? I hope I have done justice to this revision class. Any doubts?